I was stuck in a contract with Mytime, and after a time where I no longer needed their services, I was stuck in the contract paying for something I wasn't needing anymore. I built up a lot of resentment against the company. I was definitely not their biggest advocate, and it's a huge sunk cost for any company to have people out there that are saying bad things about the company. Through one of the channels, I was able to finally get a hold of the president CEO, and he finally was able to work with me to figure out a different way to do that contract practice, and eventually got me out of the contract. So finally, I still hold a lot of resentment, and as long as they're working and operating this way, I'm definitely not interested in working with them. So about 2 years ago, when I just moved down to Los Angeles and I was starting my company, and we did music production services. And we needed help to acquire more customers and be able to have a way to be able to manage all of the acquisition of customers through this online service that my whole team can be connected to. And at the time, Mytime seemed like a great solution because it also helped you connect on all the social media platforms. It was one of those things where we were researching how to get onto Facebook and Google and all the little tabs and stuff. And they said, yeah, we can do it. And I said, great. And they also had all the back-end POS and customer database assistant. And I said, great, this looks like a fantastic idea. I talked to the owners of the company that called me and acquisitioned me into the system. And I love the fact that they were a small company, or at the time they were a small company. And I love the fact that they were local-ish to me. They were on San Francisco. The people that called me were from San Francisco. And then that it was small enough that way the vice president of the company was able to talk to me to transition me into the company. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So I saw no problem. It seemed like a very family-oriented and a nice company. Nothing had up their sleeves. And so then they offered me kind of these two different contracts. I said, okay, well, one obviously makes a little bit more sense because we're planning to do this for a long term. And so we signed a contract that said, we'll lock in this rate for a year. And I said, okay, that's fantastic. I'm not anticipating anything unorthodox, at this point. And what happens is that about 2 months later, we had this huge, we obtained a whole new different market where we had to shift our company. And our company shift didn't necessarily address any individual people as much. Individual consumers weren't our focus anymore, which was just a fortune sent from heaven. But at the time, we said, okay, great. Let me ask Mytime. Mytime, I no longer need these services. So do you mind if I can buy myself out of the contract? And their answer I received was, no, you can't buy yourself out of the contract. I said, excuse me? Oh, why can't I get out of what would it take for me to get out of my contract? Nothing. You have to stay in the contract. But I'm no longer needing these services. It doesn't matter. You're in the contract. Okay. Well, here's the thing. We're trying to do mutual business and try to help each other. That doesn't help either of us because now I'm stuck, and now you're still just streaming money from me, from my account, auto-pay, automatically. And every time that happens, I'm building resentment. And they said, sorry. And so I said, okay, that's just crazy. Now I have a sunk cost that I have to plan for the next year until I can get ready to get rid of my contract. And so that's how it's been. That's how it's been since February of 2016. It was a year of that, and then I was in Mexico for the time where I had to call them to cancel it because I didn't have phone service in Mexico. So I came back to America. I tried first thing calling them when I left, and it was too late. So I was stuck in for another year. So I complained again. So I complained once through PissedConsumer in November or so of 2017. I said, this is crazy, this is shady. I've been stuck in this contract, and every month I see $100 leaving my account unnecessarily. Trying to shave costs here and there. That's just an unnecessary amount that goes out that I had no option of canceling. Which to me was kind of insane because every other sort of contract has some sort of exit clause where you can, and they did too. They had an exit clause in there, but they were interpreting their exit clause in such a stringent manner, and it kind of didn't help people that are involved with it. And a quick Google search showed that several people had the same issue that I had. There was then an email advertisement about an iPhone app update, and I saw that there was a way to provide feedback from this iPhone app feature inside the iPhone app. And so I texted through the feedback message system. I said, please get me out of this contract. I've served my jail sentence. And that was forwarded to the CEO and the president, Ethan Anderson, I believe. Nice guy, very nice guy. I don't believe he intends to do harm. He was very professional and very understanding. And I was a little I was heated because I said, I've been stuck in this thing for a year and a half, and get me out of here. And I said, this is an unfair way to do this. And he says, okay, maybe we can try something out about this. What would you suggest as a way to be able to mitigate that? So the president and CEO of Mytime and I kind of went back and forth. Maybe because we both have the same name, Ethan to Ethan, we had an Ethan powwow. But we went back and forth to try to see if there's a way to get around his contract practices. And I think ultimately it ended up pretty well. He's presented to the team a new way to help people get out of their contract. And I said, hey, I would be happy to even pay the amount you would have lost if I paid month to month versus the year-long contract part. I would be happy to pay that dividend for those months lost if that means I can stop my service. Because or else then from that point on, we're all building resentment because this is no value to your customers at that point. So yeah, and then at the end of it, he says, is there anything else I can do for you? I said, yes, get me out of the contract. And he forwarded me to somebody that said, get him out of the contract. And I'm finally out of the contract.